Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and continue on with dividing decimals. We got one more example that we want to go over, and we'll be finished with dividing decimal examples for right now. So we're going to go ahead and continue with this example. I'm not going to name it, I'm just going to say it's an example. We're going to do 75.6 divided by 3.2. Okay, so we got 75.6 divided by 3.2 equals question mark. We don't know. So this is the dividend divided by the divisor will equal the quotient. Okay, that's from the previous video, right? Previous video. So dividend divided by divisor should get us our quotient. Okay. All right. So remember, we can rewrite this as a fraction, right? Dividend goes in the numerator. Our divisor goes in the denominator, and we don't know, right? We're trying to get an equivalent fraction here, just like before. Remember, we want to move this decimal place over one time, so we're going to multiply by 10 to get that equivalent fraction. Now, if it was two decimal places, we would have to multiply by 100, right? But again, we only have one decimal place, so we're going to multiply the numerator by 10 and the denominator by 10. You remember that old saying from elementary: whatever you do at the bottom, you have to do the top. Whatever you do at the top, you got to do the bottom, right? And so what's going to happen here, we're going to move that decimal place over once, and once we're going to end up with 756. We're going to end up with 32. Okay, so again, remember, this fraction and this fraction, these are both called equivalent fractions. Okay, equivalent fractions are fractions that look different but have the same value, okay? And that's what we're dealing with here. Okay, if you type this in the calculator and this in the calculator, you're going to get the same answer, okay, what we're about to get right now together. Okay, so I'm going to put, since it's a little bit kind of a big, it's going to be kind of a bigger division problem, right? So we're going to actually scoot this over. Okay, so here we go. So, okay, 756 is getting rained on. Where does it want to go? Inside. And then 32 is the crazy one. He wants to go outside, right? So we got 32 into 75, right? 32 into 75. We want to come over here to the side and say, okay, what's 32? You have to do this on your paper, right? 32 times, let's say, 2. We're going to get 64, right? Let's see if we can go one more up. I think we're going to go over, though, right? That's 12, 1, 18, 19. Oh, no. Let me take that back. See, sometimes we mess up. You don't use the 64. We're still trying to figure out 32. 32 times 3, we end up with 6. 96, right? And so that's too much, so we know we're going to have to use a 2 above the 5, right? Above the 5. So 32 times 2 is 64. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 7 minus 6 is 1. We're going to bring down this 6. All right, now, we know 32 times 3 is 96. Let's see if we can go one more up. 32 times 4. We end up with 8, 128. What happened? Too much, right? So we're going to use the 3. 32 times 3, we're going to get 96. 6 minus 6 is 0. 1 minus 9, can't get a borrow. 11 minus 9 is 2, right? And so we see 20 here, right? So 32 won't go into 20, so what's going to end up happening here? We're going to have to extend this line up here, and we're going to have to use a decimal place at the end of 756. Here's another decimal place. Put a 0 here in the back, because remember, 756.0 is the same thing as 756. That's why we can bring that 0. Now we got to bring this 0 down and say, okay, how many times 32 going to 200? Well, 128 is too small, so we got to keep going. 32 times, let's try 5. 5 times 2 is 10. And then that's 160. 15 plus 1 is 160. I think we can go one more up. 32 times 6, 12, 1, 18, 19. That's 192. So 6. 32 times 6, 192. 200 minus 92, we're going to get 8. You know, we got to borrow 10, 9, 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. 1 minus 1 is that. Okay, we can bring another 0 down. 32 into 80. 2 times. Still extending that line. I know it's going crazy out here, right? And so 32 into 180. I'm sorry, 32 times 2 is 64. So we end up with 80 minus 64. Got to borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. 32 into 60. 16. None. We got to bring one more 0 down, I believe. 32 into 160. We have that right here, which is a 5. 32 times 5, 160. 160 minus 160 is 0. Let me scoot this over so we can see it better. Right there. And so we end up getting 23.625, or 23 and 625 thousandths. Okay. So again, this is one example. Our problem that we started off with was 75.6 divided by 3.2 equals something, and that something was this right here. Okay. So it was 23.625 was our quotient for this problem. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching.